Cracking the Code, 3rd edition. Cracking the Code, 3rd edition, copyright 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002. This book is solely for the informational and educational purposes and is not legal advice. The reader is advised to consult a licensed legal professional for assistance with any legal matter. The success stories contained herein are representative of results attainable upon application of the informational and educational material provided, but no guarantee is made. Legal results may vary depending on the diligence of the party applying the material. Cracking the Code, 3rd edition is intended for the personal use and enjoyment of all people of good will worldwide. The intent of the authors is sharing this information is for furthering the causes of freedom, understanding, and happiness in accordance with such timelessness principles as know the truth and the truth shall set you free, and he who helps others helps himself. The contents of this book are private entirety and non-negotiable between the authors and the purchaser reader. All right. Here's copyright notice and security agreements with the intent of being contractually bound. Self-executing contract security agreement. Just pause this video, read through it. User further consents and agrees with all the following additional self-executing security agreements in event of unauthorized use. You got the payment terms, default terms, terms for curing default, terms of strict foreclosure, users non-payment in full, unauthorized use fees, itemized voids within said. All right. There is no subtler, no surer means of overturning the existing basis of society than to debauch the currency. The process engages all of the hidden forces of economic laws on the side of destruction and does it in a manner which not one in a million is able to diagnose. John Maynard Keynes. Mr. Speaker, we are here now in Chapter 11. Members of Congress are official trustees presiding over the greatest reorganization of any bankrupt entity in world history, the U.S. government. Congressman James A. Tafficant, Jr. On sovereigns. We of this mighty Western Republic have to grapple with the dangers that spring from popular self-government tried on a scale incomparably vaster than ever before in the history of mankind, and from an abounding material prosperity greater also than anything which the world has hereto seen. As regards the first set of dangers, it behooves us to remember that men can never escape being governed. Either they must govern themselves or they must submit to being governed by others. If from lawfulness or fickleness, from folly or self-indulgence they refuse to govern themselves, then most assuredly in the end they will have to be governed from the outside. They can prevent the need of government from without only by showing they possess the power of government from within. A sovereign cannot make excuses for his failures. A sovereign must accept the responsibility for the exercise of power that inheres him. And whereas it true in our republic the people are sovereign, then the people must show a sober understanding and a sane and steadfast purpose if they are to preserve that orderly liberty upon which as a foundation every republic must rest. And that is President Theodore Roosevelt in 1907. Sovereignty in itself, of course, not subject to the law, for it is the author and source of law. Yick Woe versus Hopkins. And there's the Supreme Court case there. Absolute rights. As regard to right to interfere with contractual obligations of another, absolute rights which individual may exercise without reference to motive are rights incident to ownership of property, rights growing out of contractual relations, and right to enter or refuse to enter contractual relations. By the absolute rights of individuals is meant those which are in their primary and strictest sense, such as would belong to their persons merely in a state of nature, and which every man is entitled to enjoy, whether out of society or in it. The rights of personal security, of personal liberty, and private property do not depend on the Constitution for their existence. They existed before the Constitution was made, before the government was organized. These are what are termed the absolute rights of individuals, which belong to them independently of all government, and which all governments which derive their power from the consent of the governed were instituted to protect. Words and Phrases, Volume 1, 1968, West Publishing Company. Good name in man and woman, dear my lord, is the immediate jewel of our souls, who stills my purse, stills trash. 'Tis something, nothing, 'twas mine, 'tis his, and has been slave to thousands. But he that filches from me my good name robs me of that which not enriches him, but makes me poor indeed. Othello, the Moor of Venice. Act 3, Scene 3, by William Shakespeare. Filch means to steal or pilfer. Neither a borrower nor lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 3, William Shakespeare. Husbandry, economic thrift. Economy thrift, Shakespeare Lexicon. Okay, here we go. Contents. Truth about Esquire, Section 2. Section 1, maintaining fiscal integrity, functional sovereignty. Section 3, the curse of co-suretyship. Section 4, annotated glossary of terms. Part 2, practical. Section 5 is copyright notice instructions. Copyright notice single, copyright notice family. Sample cover letter for newspaper. Section 6, vital general instructions for all UCC filings. Section 7, information request UCC 11R instructions. Official UCC instructions, information request. Section 8, UCC financing statement, UCC 1 instructions, official addendum instructions, UCC financing statement filing, cross-filing, real estate filing, sample cover sheet, private agreement, hold harmless and indemnity agreement, security agreement, attachment sheet, private collateral list. Section 9, UCC filing statement amendments, UCC 3 instructions, official amendment instructions, official addendum instructions, cross-filing amendments number 1, cross-filing amendment number 2, Section 10, handling presentments instructions, notice by written communication, return receipt, which is a green card, registered mail receipt, affidavit of mailing, validation of debt package, invoice, verified statement count. Section 10, affidavit of John Henry Doe by special visitation, notary's certification of non-response, how to sign your signature without liability, helpful notes for pressure situations. Part 3 appendix, Section 11, executive order outlawing ownership of gold, crime is commercial, 27 code, federal regulations, 7211. Prisoners, prisons, and courts. U.S. Attorney disclaims IRS as agent of U.S. government. IRS appoints a parent communist as attorney. The demise of the American Constitutional Republic, a memorandum of law on the name, the Shattar's effect on English law, a law of the Jews becomes the law of the land, State Bar not registered as a public corporation, 60 times magnification of signature line on personal checks, copyright law, UCC filing offices in Canada. Part 4, blank forms and form letters, Section 12, information request, UCC financing statement addendum, UCC financing statement amendment, UCC financing statement amendment addendum, cover sheet for filing by mail courier, letter for state registrar, birth certificate. CFR Code of Federal Regulations. Preface.